o'clock, as my computer told you. And it is time for youth nights online. I really hope you guys are excited. Oh, here we go. I really hope you guys are excited. Let me see as you guys are coming in. Let's see here. As you guys are coming in, definitely let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat that you
there we go.
In.
It's sick.
Oh, you can hear me well. All right. Let me know that you are in as you're coming in. And as you're coming in, let me or make sure that you are sharing this with as many people as possible. Let's see here. Let's see. Make sure that you're sharing this with as many people as possible. All right. As you're coming in, let me know that you're in the comment section. Let me know that you're in the comment section so I can shout you out. Because I do miss you guys so very much. We are in week gabillion of quarantine, but we are in week 4 of our Mood Swings series. And I'm super, super excited about it. There we go. Hey, Madison. Oh my God, Madison, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. That's number one. I feel like I haven't seen you forever, but that's okay. All right, as you are coming in, definitely let me know in the comment section. Hey, Grace, there we go. Now they're starting to pour in and come in. Listen, we miss you guys so, so, so much. I miss you guys so, so, so much. And as you're coming in, I want you to let me know. What's up, Chris? I want you to let me know. Let me play a good song from our latest album here. All right. As you come in, let me know how that week has been going. We got Terry, we got Chris, we got Grace, we got Madison. Let me know how you've been doing. I'm playing a song from our latest album, Come Alive. It was just released earlier. What was that? I think like the 5th or the 6th, and I've been playing it literally every day since. Let everybody know. I'm letting everybody know that we're live. All right, as you're coming in, let me know in the comment section. Listen, okay. Who is this here? Hey, everybody, as you're coming in, let me know how your week has been going. All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, give me your week. How was your 4th? Did anybody celebrate the 4th? I technically did not celebrate the 4th. You know, I celebrated Juneteenth. Technically did not celebrate the 4th. I wanted to grill though. I still wanted some good eating. But on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me how your week has been. This week, oh man, this week was a little so-so. I'm giving this week a 5. I'm giving this week a 5. It was a long week. But let me know in the comment section how your week was, and let me know if you celebrated the 4th this week. Not this week, that was last week. Let me know if you celebrated the 4th last Saturday. All right, we got a 7, and I don't celebrate the 4th. I know that's right. Anybody else? How was that week going? How was your week going? How was your week? How was your week? I gave y'all a good 5 from my week. A good 5. What's up, Tabari? I see you in here. I know you're watching with your brothers. Tell them I said hey. Whoa, Madison, you started work this week. Where were you at work? Well, where do you work? Madison thinks she's grown. She got her little job now. Okay. Congratulations, Madison. So proud of you. Like I said, hey, Tabari, I know you're watching with your brothers. I was going to say something else. Oh, DJ Danger is on. That's Derek. He started his channel. If you haven't already, go subscribe to Derek's channel. Go watch some videos, like those videos. Super proud of you, Derek, for starting that channel. Chris said we going at a 4. Out of 4, I feel you on that one. Anybody else? Anybody else? How is your week going? Madison, don't forget to tell me where you're working because I'm super proud of you. All right. Now, tonight we are still in our mood swings series, and I'm super excited because we have a very special guest. After School Matters. Congrats, Madison. You're the perfect one for the job. All right, we have a very special guest tonight. We're still in our mood swing series, and tonight we're going to be doing a Q&A that I'm super excited about because this quarantine has definitely been wearing on a lot of us. I can speak for myself, wearing on a lot of us emotionally, and it's been stressful. It's been stressful. And so this entire series, we have been taking biblical principles from the Psalms and the Proverbs. I mean, from Psalms, actually, not the Proverbs. We've been taking biblical principles from the book of Psalms and figuring out how we should be managing our emotions through that wisdom that we find in Psalms. So this entire series, we've been getting very real biblical advice and very real biblical direction and guidance. But tonight we're going to get some very practical stuff. It's going to be very practical. And I'm super, super, super excited for you to enjoy this. Anybody else want to tell me how that week has been going? Now, if you know of some friends, if you know of some family members that need this conversation. Hey, I literally just thought of you, Talia. I was like, where's Talia? And you came on here. Thanks for coming on. But if you know somebody who needs this conversation, tonight we're having a conversation on emotions, mental health, moods, all that good stuff. If you need, or if you know someone that needs to be a part of this conversation, I need you to share this live with them ASAP. Share this live with them ASAP because this is going to be a very fruitful conversation and I'm super excited for you to be a part of it. All right. All right. Now, the next thing that I need from you, before I'm going to give you guys a couple of announcements and then we're going to get right into this. All right. The first thing I need from you guys is I need you guys to be live in this chat. I do not like a dead chat. I like y'all talking to me so that I know you're there, so that I know you're paying attention. So if you are live in this chat, if you're paying attention, if you with me, I need you to put "we live" in this chat. Put "we live" in the chat. Put "we live" in the chat because I need to know that we are live, that we are live, okay? I can't take boring chats that no one's talking in, all right? So that's the first thing. Put "we live" in the chat so I know that you're paying attention, so I know that you're here. All right, Talia said, I'm so excited. I'll take that too. I'm so excited. All right. There we go. We live. There we go. All right. So definitely make sure that you are engaged and that you are in this chat. All right. The next thing that I need for you guys to do is go ahead and follow us on all social media outlets. All right. NY Youth Shy. Okay, on Instagram, NY Youth on Facebook, and all those other amazing, great places. I think we're on TikTok, we're on Snapchat at NY Youth. But remember that on Instagram, it is now NY Youth Shy, and you're gonna be hearing some really cool things about why we made that adjustment. That's number one. All right. So definitely make sure that you follow us. If you have not already, though, or if you don't receive text messages from us, be sure to text NY Youth, ANWAYOUTH to 97000 to 97000. All right. And lastly, if you have not already signed up to an e-tribe, then what I need you to do is I need you to go to allnationswa.com/ytribes. allnationswa.com/ytribes. The Y simply stands for youth. It's not that hard, all right? allnationswa.com/ytribes so that you can be a part of a youth tribe. The tribes are amazing. They're packed with information. They're packed with community, and it's just super fun. So make sure that you are in a Y Tribe. All right. I'm ready for this conversation. I hope you're ready for this conversation. Make sure that if you have a question for our special guest, I'm super excited. Make sure you put it in the chat so that we can get it asked. But I am going to ask Miss Zoe Shaw. I'm going to call her Pastor Zoe. Pastor Zoe from NYATL to come on real quick, and we are going to get this started. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. All right. Hey, Pastor Zoe.
Hey, Pastor Jamal. How is everybody doing?
I'm super pumped to have you on tonight. And before we jump right into our questions, give us a little bit about yourself. So you are at NYATL, but so your family, okay? Your family, because this is the NY family all the way down in Atlanta. So give us a little bit about yourself and what you do both for NYATL, but also for your profession.
Okay. Well, first off, I want to thank you for having me on tonight. I'm so honored and excited to be a part. I think with all this going back and forth with quarantining, we're kind of getting tired of doing the same thing each week. So it's really refreshing to be able to come and spend time with our Chicago family. I am originally from Oklahoma. I've been living in Atlanta for 5 years. So that is a big change of pace, and people still cannot drive here. And that is one of my frustrating mood things that I'm having to deal with. At All Nations Atlanta, I serve as our Next Generations Director. So that's overseeing our kids ministry, our youth ministry, and also our college ministry. And professionally, I am a mental health counselor, and I work with children and adolescents and their families. And I do play therapy.
Oh, see, I love it. So you're perfect for this conversation. This is amazing. Okay. So real quick, because I don't want to hop right into the meaty punches. Okay. So give us your, let's go with, this will be hard for me, but give us like your top 5 shows during quarantine.
Oh, and I've been binge watching a million. Okay, so one is Little Fires Everywhere.
Oh, okay.
There is, gosh, what are they called? I feel like I have to look them up. I've been watching All American. Have you guys heard of that? Like,
oh my gosh, we have this like thing with All American because the acting is so terrible.
Wait, what?
Yes.
In what world?
It's brought up. So every time All American has been brought up during this quarantine, we have to bring up the fact that the acting is the worst. The main character gets mad at everything, but everything upsets him.
It's character development. We have to know like where he came from, like what he's going through, so we can see that he overcame it.
Oh my God. They'd be like, you want water? He'd be like, if you would have never left me, I wouldn't have needed water. Like, what?
Okay,
I just
you're right.
asked if you needed some water. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Right. Okay. Sorry.
Someone said All American is great.
Okay.
CC said it's great. So I'm gonna go with that.
No.
Okay, so we got All American, Little Fires Everywhere. I am a binge watcher, so I'll watch reruns of The Office.
There we go.
Okay, we got a winner. What else? I'm watching, we do movies too.
Yeah, you can do movies.
No, yeah. I watched the Hamilton play.
Yep.
On Disney Plus, and it was like a Hulu something or other. It's about this girl who's like really smart, and she like graduated with her PhD when she was like in middle school or something like that. It's like a kid show. But
I think I've seen like, because I'm a Hulu person too. I love Hulu. I think I've seen previews for that. But that's a minus All American. That's a good
range.
That's a good range. I knew Dari was gonna have my back. She said the acting is trash on All American. Thank you, Dari.
I got another one. They love Hamilton.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not Dari would look now. Terry, The Last Dance. I didn't expect Pastor Zoe to say The Last Dance, but but I did watch The Last Dance. Okay, so we have all right. So since we have favorite TV shows, what have been some of your favorite snacks during quarantine? Because you got to say snacked up.
Pringles. And
Pringles.
I bought like this large, like, I think I had like 24 a variety pack of Pringles, and I've just been like literally hammering it. And then also kettle corn, popcorn. And then I've been making my own smoothies. So
the making the own smoothies sounds like an experiment, and it's like it's worked. So now it's like this is my thing.
And it's really just like strawberries and orange juice. But
so she's having chopped up fruit, everybody. That's what she's having is chopped up fruit.
So and I can be okay with that because I feel like I'm getting my nutrients for the week.
That's good. I have been let me see, white cheddar Cheez-Its. Love them. Okay. Sour cream and onion Lay's. The best. Oh, no.
Maybe sour cream and onion Pringles?
No, the sour cream and onion Pringles actually don't hit the same.
The Lay's are just too thin.
Right, but the Pringles, because they're so thick, you don't get the seasoning. Please, someone in the chat.
Oh, someone settle this. Clubs. Wow, that's a classic.
Is definitely, yeah. Can someone settle in the chat? Would you rather have sour cream and onion Pringles or sour cream and onion Lay's?
And if you're make sure that you're spelling Pringles right. I-N-G-L.
Pringles or Lay's? Pringles or Lay's, because I think everyone knows the answer to this. Okay. As they are no, CC, no, CC's daily, you could get out of here. She says, Zoe, we are alike, and I already know where she's going with it. Thank you, Dari. Dari got my back today, okay? Lay's all day.
I need to
Pringles
is too have a conversation.
Pringles taste like cardboard. They taste like cardboard with seasoning on top. It's not good. It's not good. Let me think.
A refined palate, I guess. We don't all have it.
Let's see. Okay. So this has been another Lay's. Thank you. This has been my guilty pleasure. I should not eat these, but I love them so much. I actually had some right before we got on. Is the hot Cheeto puffs.
I've never had those actually.
Oh,
I love hot Cheetos and hot fries.
Now hot fries used to be my go-to, but the hot Cheeto puffs, they taking me out. They taking me out the stores. Every time I go to the grocery store, I feel like I have to grab another bag.
I won't knock it till I try it. I will not. You're saved on that one.
Side note, right now we have 3 Lay's to 1 Pringle. So
but
there's that.
Oh.
Thank you, Lori.
Pringles aren't even real.
Oh, that's Stavincia. Okay, I'm like CC. All right, hi Stavincia.
Say potato chips on the can.
See, okay, Chris. See, if you like hot fries, I think you like the puffs. They in here taking up for the hot fries. I mean for the puffs. So.
I'm gonna give y'all that. That must be a Chicago thing. Okay, this is a real question though, real quick.
Okay.
So I'm originally from Oklahoma.
Right.
And I consider myself to be Midwestern. Is Oklahoma a part of the Midwest?
Oh, that's tough. That's tough because technically Oklahoma is a part of the Midwest.
We are on the western side in the middle of the country.
Correct. But I think a lot of people, when they think Midwest, they think North. So they only think of Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, but I would consider Oklahoma a part of the Midwest. However, when I think Oklahoma, I only think cornfields.
Which we do have. Yeah.
See, there we go. Oh, y'all are taking up for y'all pastor today. Talia said hot puff smack. That's how
Well, I haven't had them yet, so I'm
that's
gonna
how you
give
know,
y'all that one.
that's how you know Talia is
Popcorn is the supreme snack. DJ Danger. I'm gonna check out your channel too.
now. DJ Danger only eats popcorn and pancakes. That is a very real statement. That is a very real statement. Not together. Those are just his only two approved. What's the other one, DJ Danger? I think it might be chicken tenders or something like that. But yeah, so when you said popcorn, that's his go-to. That's his go-to. All right. Let's see. Last question. I feel like we're really getting to know Pastor Zoe right now. We're really getting to know her. All right. So okay. What has been, give us like a 5-song playlist, quarantine playlist.
Ooh, okay. I gotta open up my iTunes real quick. A 5-song playlist. Okay, so I've been listening to The Blood Reprise by Naomi Rain.
Oh, okay.
I've been listening to Do It by Chloe and Halle.
Oh, that was on our Music Monday, y'all. With Blake.
I've been listening. I listen to like a lot of Afro beats. I feel like I've been to Africa like a couple times, so now I just feel like I'm African.
I love it.
I'm immerse myself in that. So I don't know if anybody would know my African artist, but there's this girl who does a lot of like remixes, and her name is Nana Fofi, and so I listen to like a lot of her music.
Nana Fofi.
Yeah.
Okay. I that was saved. That was a saved.
That was a saved answer. You want me to give you some?
That was a saved playlist. I'm, now number one, I didn't know anything about the Chloe and Halle song until our Music Monday. And then it stuck in my head now. I tried listening to that new Pop Smoke album. Made me feel old. I don't know if anybody's listened to that. That made me feel really old.
That Chris Brown Go Crazy. I like that one.
Gotta love Chris Breezy. Fun fact about me, I used to watch his old music videos and try to learn the dances. I don't know what kid didn't do that. Like,
he was inspired by Michael Jackson, so I feel like if you like try to do the Michael Jackson moves, it's like, let me do Chris Brown too.
He was the guy. He was the man. But in all honesty, I've been saved to this at least this last week. And listening to the new Come Alive album. That's just been on
Yahweh.
Yeah, Yahweh is. Oh, they are going. Yes, Pop Smoke is lit. I did that as a test for y'all. I did that as a test to see who would say something. Oh, all this Pop Smoke. You know what? Okay, because I see this. That was a test.
Talia, Afro beats. I need to get your playlist. I need to see what
yeah, Talia probably got a lit playlist. Miss Kari talking about she love her some Chris Brown. All right. So okay. Now, okay, sorry. This is a side note. I have Pastor Zoe probably is not gonna know anything about this, but I did just learn about Little Baby and Little Durk.
I know Little Baby. I don't know Little Durk.
I think okay, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think Little Durk is more Chicago, right? I think he's from here. Local. I'm learning. They're teaching me. They're teaching me, and I'm learning, Pastor Zoe.
I had a whole debate on Thursday with our teams about the lingo that I don't get, and I was like, Gen Z literally stole millennials' lingo. Y'all just gave it a different definition.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I wrong? Y'all tell me in the comments.
No, that's about it. That's about right.
I think I know what y'all talking about, and then y'all like, that's not right.
It veers completely off. All right. So I think that we've gotten to know Pastor Zoe a little bit well, and we did that on purpose. All right. They told me Durk is Chicago. All right, good. So I think we know her a little bit well, and the reason why The reason why we did that is because she's probably going to like drop some bombs on you guys. So I needed you guys to be like, oh man, I like her, before she just came in like swinging for the fences. We're gonna get started. So remember, tonight we are in our mood swing series, and we have been going through different biblical principles on how to handle or deal with our emotions, and we've been coming out of the book of Psalms. So we've gone through different Psalms, and we have been seeing from David what we should be doing with our emotions, or how we should be responding to certain things in life emotionally. And so we didn't have youth nights last week because of the 4th, but the week before that, Pastor BJ came from San Bernardino and just tore us to shreds. Like, he came in rebuking everybody. He was rebuking me. He was rebuking y'all. I mean, he was just rebuking everybody, and just preached real good. And so what I wanted to do was, we've been getting so much great biblical revelation. I wanted to couple that with some practical revelation as well on how we can be better handling our emotions during this quarantine. So we're going to pop this off with a couple questions, but if you have a question, put it into the chat, and then we'll make sure that it gets asked to Pastor Zoe. Okay. So what we're going to start off with is, this quarantine has been going on since March. So what is it? March, April, May.
Too long.
Wow, we're in month 5.
Wow.
Like the end of this month will make 5 months, because it was towards the end of March. So the end of this month will make 5 months. So we're entering into the 5th month. So how I want to start this is, and I want to figure out how to word this, because I know when I say it, everybody's gonna be like, yes, that. But what should I be doing, or what should we be doing, if in this 5th month we just don't feel like ourselves?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Because I don't think that it's uncommon for us to not feel like ourselves. I think that we are all trying to navigate this new normal, and it's tough because it's not something that any of us has ever experienced before. We've never had to face something like this. And on top of that, we're having to juggle. Like, we had life before quarantine and COVID and all the stuff going on. So layering the stuff we had going on with all of this, we're having to juggle a lot of different things that we really have like zero blueprint for. And so I've even found myself asking the questions like, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I in such a funk? But what I've learned is, like, first of all, it's important to have rest, but we have to be kind to ourselves in these moments, because we're really all doing the best that we know how to do. We're all doing the best that we can. And so sometimes it can feel like we're just going through the motions. So what I've done is, like, I've just tried to put like some structure in my day to help me feel productive. What I will say, though, is that a lot of times when we find ourselves in these funks, these should really be short-lived. So like maybe a couple days here, a couple days there. But if you find yourself the days getting a little bit longer, where they're kind of getting stretched out, where you're having these bad days, I would really make sure that you're reaching out to somebody, like a trusted adult, so that they can kind of help pull you out of those places to talk about that stuff.
Now, okay, so you said something, and I knew this is how this was going to go. I was like, Pastor Zoe is going to say something really good, and then I'm going to ask more about that. Because you said something that I think is really interesting, and I want as many people as possible to put this in the chat, and I want you to kind of expound on this. You said, be kind to yourself.
Compassion, self-compassion.
Woo! I need somebody to put that in the chat. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Can you break that down? Because I feel like during this quarantine, I could even say to myself, or for me, like, it's been easier to be harder on myself.
Mm-hmm.
So so for us, it's probably like with schoolwork, and then like even with church, like you missed a couple weeks and you like, dang, I'm a bad Christian because I ain't even watched because this stuff was going on. This is crazy. So like you could be harder on yourself And so that concept of being kind to yourself, can you break that down? I need some more people to put that in. There we go. I'm seeing it now. Be kind to yourself. I need you to break that down. Like, what does that look like during a quarantine?
So I think, because we're living in this virtual reality world, and really a lot of times all we have is like technology and social media, we kind of fall into these traps where we're comparing ourselves to the next person. Like, oh, well, they're doing all this stuff. Like, why am I stuck at home? Like, why am I not doing something new or fun or exciting? And we kind of start to feel, like you said, feel bad about ourselves, that maybe we're not doing enough. Maybe, we shouldn't feel the way that we feel. Maybe we shouldn't. I don't know, just, a lot of different things where we just feel like there's more that we could be doing. But really paying attention to our feelings and knowing that, hey, you're doing what you know how to do, and you're doing what you need to do to make sure that you're staying mentally rested, physically rested, and you're making it through. So knowing that, hey, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, there's nothing else that you could or should be doing in this moment, and that everyone's journey or everyone's experience or way that they're processing this is unique to them, and you can't judge yourself based on what someone else is doing. So just letting yourself know that, hey, you're okay.
I think that's really good. So those self reminders of there's only so much you can do right now. Um,
Routine.
yeah, yeah, and I think you said something else which is very interesting, but that piece of comparison,
Mhm.
and I think that now in quarantine these have been a lot more accessible, used a whole lot more, and especially these are social media, apps and all that good stuff. And so with those and the constant scroll, I'm pretty sure if we all like submitted our screen time during this quarantine, it would be the worst. Like it would be the worst. And it's not necessarily, I mean, we're stuck at home. Like there's only so much, to do. But talk about like the role that social media even plays in that comparison, because I would guess that it's harder to be kind to yourself when you're comparing, but you're comparing because it's always in your face. Like it's always in your face. So like how do we combat that comparison when, I mean, it's right there?
So, as far as social media goes, you have to give yourself breaks. You have to schedule time away from the screen. And then even the like for Instagram, for example, we follow all these different pages, and sometimes we just have to unfollow them and make sure that the things that we're following is something that's going to edify our mind and give us pure thoughts and uplift us. If we're constantly following people that maybe we're jealous of, or maybe we're following people that we envy or that we want to be like, and we don't have what they have, or we can't go where they're going, we're going to get caught in that cycle, and we're going to start to like, oh man, and our self-esteem is going to go down. So if we're following things that are uplifting us, or if we're just taking a break from it in general, we're going to be able to make sure that we have a positive mood going here on out. Another thing with social media, though, is even if it's not used for like all fun and games, I mean, it's where we get our news. It's where we hear about all these things that are going on in the world. And I think that can start to have a toll on us when we're seeing all of these traumatic things happening to us. So that's why it's really important to kind of take a break from that as well, and do things away from the screen, and maybe with other people in your house, or you might call a friend, read a book, do something creative instead.
Yeah, I love that. And I think one thing that I even had to do, because we're not exempt just because we're older, or we're pastors, all like we are not exempt. And one thing that I had to do was I had to like literally audit like who I followed. I had to unfollow a lot of people,
Yeah.
simply because I had to take care of what I was giving my attention to.
Hmm.
But then with that, I also made sure that I started following people that would put more into me. So I think like one day I literally went and followed like 10 different counselors that people were, raving about. And I had read up on them and, looked over their content, and they were posting really good stuff. And
Yeah.
like this last week has been so wonderful because I go to my page, I go to my page and I'm scrolling and I'm seeing amazing content about, like healing and trauma and depression, like overcoming depression and all that good stuff. And like, I feel like social media is more impactful now
Yep.
because it can be used for good. It
Yep.
can be a source of strength for you if you are following the right people and supporting the right people. So I think that's a good thing too, is you got to check who you follow. Listen, the Shade Room got unfollowed a long time ago. What's the other one? Spiritual World got to unfollow a long time ago. Like, yes,
I mean,
yes.
I haven't followed them, but I see other people. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like it's a lot of pages where I just was like, this is not helping me. This is not growing me. This is right. And so you got to be real and you have to ask yourself those questions. So I think that that's really good with that comparison piece. So let's talk about if someone, because I know going back to one of your first answers, you talked about those consecutive days. You said that it shouldn't last like too long. So if there's someone who's like, man, I've just been down for as long as I can remember, or, I've just been like zoned out for most of this quarantine. What should that person do? I know you mentioned, they should call someone they trust or, kind of do something to get themselves out of where they are. But what are some things that person can do to still get something out of this time?
Yeah. And like I said, this is an unprecedented time. And so I think we are going to have those feelings of, depression or, sadness, hopelessness, and all that, because we're faced with two pandemics right now. And even not being able to be around our peers as much as we would like to be makes things a little bit worse. But I think the first thing outside of, reaching out to someone is first acknowledging your feelings. Acknowledge those things that are weighing down on you, that are adding to maybe feelings of depression or sadness or isolation. And then again, I would create a routine that can help you to manage those feelings, because I know that sometimes it can feel like the days are endless, but creating a schedule and having something that you can look forward to can kind of help you to relieve some of that negativity. So making sure that you're exercising, making time to call your friends or FaceTime your friends or family members that might be out of town. And even though we're social distancing, you can still go outside. And so that might look like just going to sit on the front porch. Yeah, it could just be walking down the street for a couple minutes. Because natural sunlight is the best way to fight any kind of, heavy mood, because that the vitamin D gives you energy and all types of things. So just get sunlight, get out in nature, breathe, meditate.
I love it. I love it. You said a cuss word, which is exercise. To a lot of people, like it's like extra what? But I think that that's some very, very practical information too. Let's just go outside, get some fresh air. But some of us, we've been holed up in the house, just sitting in the house. And I know like the world is like slowly opening back up here in Chicago. I know Stavincia is in Jersey, and she said that the world is open back up. Down in Atlanta, the world opened up, but now it's shutting back down. So like, I know it's crazy, but you can still step outside, get a breath of fresh air, do a couple jumping jacks on your front porch, and call it a day. You
And even
know,
the exercise, it doesn't have to be like extensive. It's just like moving
right?
your body and getting in the motion of things. So it could be like, if you guys have playlists, play your playlist and just dance a little bit. Just move
Yeah.
around so that you're not just kind of sitting in one spot, just letting the day pass you by.
I love it. I love it. Now, this is one of my favorite questions. And remember, if you guys have a question, definitely make sure that you put it in the chat. But here's one of my favorite questions, because I've gotten this complaint from a lot of us, especially those of us with siblings. Okay, so let's talk to the person who the people in their house is driving them crazy. I mean, driving them crazy. If this is you, I need you to put something in the chat. I need you to raise your hand, say that's me, okay? But let's talk to the person who their brother is getting on their nerves, their sister keep nagging, their mama, they can't do nothing right because every time their mama come home, the dishes, either the dishes not done or they didn't clean up or this or that. They keep getting into arguments, or mama said you got an attitude, and it's like I don't really have an attitude, but now that you said I got an attitude, I do got an attitude, and then I responded with attitude. So then it's just, oh my God, I love it. I'm like, it's just a cycle. So what do we do? Like my family, my siblings, the people in my house is getting on my nerve. They are. I knew Talia was gonna be the first one.
Hand raises.
Genesis. Oh my God. So what do we do if the people in my house are literally like plucking every last nerve that I have, or frustrating me so much, and I feel like I have no peace? I feel like my emotions are all over the place. I'm always mad or angry, or even when I do get like that time of like, yeah, somebody come in and just mess it all up. So like, what do I do, or how can I still manage my emotions in the midst of irritation?
That's a tricky one, because family burnout, especially when you can't, I mean, I'm fortunate right now to live by myself, but I know that if I was home with my family, we would have killed each other. And it's overwhelming to have to look at the same people 24/7, like no variety. So I think you've really got to find time, and I know it might be hard, but at least 30 minutes a day just to kind of get some alone time. So you could just, again, go walk outside. You could go to your room and read a book. If you don't have the opportunity to get away, maybe you have a lot of siblings and someone's always barging in your space, you could just kind of reframe that and come up with creative things that you guys could do as a family together. So maybe watch a movie together, or have a game night, or what I've been seeing a lot of people do, which I think is so fun, is like doing like those family TikToks together. Because what I know is like when you guys are laughing together and having a good time, it takes away from that frustration. Like you don't have room or space to be frustrated when you guys are having a good time. The last thing, pray for them. What my pastors always told us is that you cannot be mad at someone that you are constantly praying for.
That is so true.
If you start your day with a devotional and just say, God, give me the peace and the calmness to handle whatever situation is thrown my day, it'll just shape your whole day.
I love it. Y'all know I always come out of left field with my advice, but stay on the toilet a little longer. Or
not what I was gonna guess.
Or like
shower.
Stay in the shower for an extra, couple minutes, and really value that time. Like, I know this is like so weird, it's so crazy, but I grew up with an older brother, older sister, mom and dad were in the house as well, and we all shared like one bathroom, but it was one of those things where like I shared a room with my brother until I was like 14. So I really didn't feel like I had like personal space. So when I went to the bathroom, I wasn't taking my phone in there. I'd take a nice little book and I'd spend a little extra time. Or, when I got in the shower, like I was either singing, or I was praying, or I was having a conversation with myself, just like kind of decompressing, and just kind of, and you have to find the time, like whatever alone time you normally do. I know some of y'all cook for your siblings, like take that time, put your headphones in, and as you cook it, like make that your time. That's your time, and you value that, and use that to kind of get yourself back together. It might be a little weird. It might be a little weird, but
I used to do the talking to myself, and my mom would always knock, and she'd be like, "Are you alone in there? Are you okay?"
I still, to this day, in the car, what I do is I put my phone up on the dashboard and my AirPods in so that people might think that I'm on FaceTime or something. Oh, but I'm just having a wonderful conversation with myself.
Full meeting.
It's just a full meeting with myself. So it's okay. It's literally okay. And I think, if all else fails, find that time. But as Pastor Zoe said, it's hard for you to be mad at people that you're praying for. Like, it's really difficult, it's really tough. And as she also pointed out, for people that you're having fun with, like, if you couple those two together, I think that you'll have a little bit more grace. But I know for a lot of you, as we just saw in the comments,
and it's not like that every single day, but maybe just like 1 or 2 times a week, like you guys can make the best of it.
Yeah, make the best of your time. Stavincia says she do the same walking home. Listen, I feel you. Sometimes you gotta have a meeting with yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta have a little meeting, you gotta get yourself together. All right. So the next question, what'd you say?
I was reading she said self-care, peaceful time.
Oh yeah, you gotta have self-care. Oh, DJ Danger, yeah, I knew you would feel a whole basement. All right, so now that we have our family woosah, we know what to do. We're going to spend a little extra time on the toilet and then go and have a game night, because that will you have to be able to maximize your time and also have fun with him. So now that we have that, what about, because I it's hard to, when you brought up seeing the same people's faces and seeing kind of like the same things. If you get on social media, it's pretty much the same stuff. If you watch the news, it's literally the same thing every day. I think that, like, the news and even like sports channels and stuff, they're all like, they don't know what else to talk about because nothing else is going on. So like, it's a constant, like, just regurgitation of the same thing. But I know that it can bring up a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. And on top of that, you add, I know all of us were out of school, we're on summer, but just that idea of, I may have to go back, I may not have to go back, I don't know if I could do this e-learning thing, because I know a lot of us have some difficulties with that. What do we do if we feel like we can't control that stress or that anxiety, and those thoughts come and they get to become overwhelming and we don't really know what to do next? How can we navigate through that when we feel like we have no real control over that anxiety or that stress?
Yeah. So emotions are like really powerful things. And actually, I want you guys to drop in the chat, like some feelings that you guys might feel like you don't have control over, because I know there's like a wide range of emotions. But emotions are really powerful things. And sometimes they get the best of us, and they're so bossy. I mean, they have a way of telling us, what to do, how to respond to people, what to think about things. But one thing that I've really learned to love about emotions, and trust me, it took me a while to love this, but our emotions show us what's important to us. I mean, if you think about it, if you really didn't care about something or someone, like, you wouldn't pay it attention. You wouldn't think twice about it. So when we're trying to get control back over our feelings, the way we get it back is we have to pay attention to them. It's like that annoying sibling we talked about earlier, where they won't go away until we listen to them. So first we have to figure out, what it is that we're feeling, why we're feeling that way. It's like, are you annoyed because every time you try to watch TV, your little brother comes in and takes the remote? Are you hurt because your parents keep yelling at you about something you don't even know that you did? Are you scared because, like Pastor Jamal said, we really don't know what's happening in the world, and it doesn't seem like anything is getting any better. And after you figure out these things, this why I'm feeling this way, what I'm feeling, you got to try and change. And I know it's really hard. You got to try and change the way that you think about the situation. And it's hard to think about things that are negative in a positive light. But one thing that I try to do is I try to ask myself the question, what would I say to a friend that had this problem? I think that's something that helps us to think about the problem in a different way, because it kind of removes us from the situation. Because sometimes when we're in it, we can't really think clearly. So if we respond to ourselves like we would respond to a friend, it kind of helps us to have a more positive outlook on how to handle it. Then you got to practice some skills to help calm you down. Sometimes the feelings are going to come whether we like it or not. So you got to know how to do things that are going to stop them in their tracks before they try and creep back up. So calling a friend, and don't call them to complain about the problem, because that's just going to make it worse. But maybe call and talk about something funny or like something positive you guys are looking forward to. You might go listen to music, take some deep breaths. As I mentioned, I live in Atlanta and people do not know how to drive here. So it's not extreme. I have like mild road rage. So when I'm stuck in traffic, and it might be a little childish, but I carry like in my car, like this little bottle of bubbles. So whenever I get upset on the road, I like roll down the window and I just like, that's probably not safe either, huh? But I literally start blowing bubbles to like help me calm down, because it like helps to like.
I have never heard of that ever.
I'm a play therapist, so I have a lot of like kid stuff in my car. So I'm like, let me just, and it helps.
That is hilarious.
Like will drive up next to me and they'll be like, don't, just keep going. Just keep.
I see. Okay. So I love everything that you kind of just brought up. And that was very packed, because the first thing is emotions. And I think we've talked about this before in NYU, but emotions aren't necessarily bad then.
No, not bad at all.
As you said, they're simply just showing us what's important to us. And I think when you have that outlook, you don't necessarily, you don't necessarily have to get upset or angry over feeling that thing, but instead you just have to know what to do with that emotion. And it's really interesting that you brought up the whole statement of how would I explain this or talk to this, or talk about this with a friend, because one of our last questions is how can we, because I know during this quarantine, we are still, talking to some of our friends, and some of our friends aren't saved. Some of our friends are probably in situations or in households that are toxic or that are rough. How can we help our friends with their emotions? Because I know for a lot of our kids here in NYU, I get calls a lot from our kids that say, my friends come to me because they know I'm Christian. They know I'm a Christian, and so they come to me with their frustrations. They come to me with their hard moments and stuff like that. How can we be there for our friends who might be going through emotional trauma or issues, and show our support?
I think exactly what you just said, just be there for them. I think that the best way is to show them that they're not alone in what they're feeling. And I think, you might have a story or a situation that's similar to theirs. So if you're comfortable sharing that with them, you're going to be able to relate and connect with them, so that they feel like they're not going through something that's like abnormal, like they're the only ones in the world going through that. Because I think a lot of times we think that we are literally the only people on the planet that's experiencing what we're feeling. And it's like, you'd be surprised how many people are dealing with the same stuff, but nobody wants to open their mouths about it. And you said something earlier about not our feelings. We shouldn't feel bad or get angry with our feelings. But I think that's something that we've been taught to do, is like when these quote unquote negative feelings come up, that we should like push them away. We shouldn't have them. They're bad things. So we were kind of trained to think that, well, that's not normal to feel like that. So you might be the only one feeling like that. But the reality is that we're probably all feeling like that at one point or another. And maybe you're the friend that isn't experiencing the same things that the friend that's telling you the stuff is, and that's okay too. But you can still support them by being a listening ear, because sometimes we don't always have the answers, and we don't have the right things to say. But just showing up and letting them know that they don't have to carry that weight by themselves is always going to be helpful.
That's good. And I literally was just in my head thinking it's okay to not know. Like it's okay to not know, and it's okay to be like, hey, I don't know what to say right now. I don't know how to respond, but I got you. I support you. I'm here for you. And I think that's so powerful because sometimes for people, that's what they need more than anything.
They don't want you to say anything.
Yeah, like
Let me talk, just let me get it out. Like I can't carry it in here, so let me get it out, and you don't have to do anything with it. And I think we just need to be that person to sit with them in the middle of whatever they're going through.
exactly, because I'm pretty sure if that's you, put it in the chat. I'm pretty sure there are some of us who are like, sometimes I just need to get it out. Sometimes I just need to get it out, and I just need to be able to express how I'm feeling, and I need to be able to express like what this is doing to me, because I have nowhere else to do it. So that's why I called you. I called you as a friend because I have nowhere else to put these emotions. And so that's why I called you. Real
And
quick. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and there's just healing in the way that you love people. So you might not even know what somebody's going through. They might not even want to tell you what's happening, but the way that you love them and care about them just from a friend standpoint is going to heal things in them without them even having to say what's going on.
I love it. I love it. And real quick, before we start to wrap this up, I want to kind of get into it, or kind of cap this off with life after this, whatever that is gonna look like. Because we have literally been used to being at home. And just so for example, I went from working at home March, April, May to like the middle of June being to all right, we're coming back into the office. And I underestimated the emotional toll it was going to take.
Yeah, it's an adjustment.
Like I underestimated like just how much that would be for me emotionally. And so it got to the point like that. So after the first week, that next week, I thought I was going to be able to make it through. And I had to take like 3 days off. I was like, no, I was like, I need to go back home and reset. I need to get myself together. So how can we be preparing ourselves for whatever life is going to look like after this? We don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
We know that at some point we're going to have to interact with people. At some point, we're going to be able to be in large settings and in large places. At some point, we're going to go back to school in some way, So how do we prepare ourselves now for that?
So, like you said, we don't know what it's going to look like, but we do know that I don't think it's ever going to go back to the way that it was. Yeah. Just physically preparing for it, I think that we have to establish boundaries, especially if we're going to be around people. So what we're okay with as far as like interactions, are we going to hug people? Are we going to high five? How close do we want to be around people? And more mentally, emotionally, I think that this time has kind of created an awareness in us of what we should value, the things that we should appreciate in life. So I think that when we go back into these spaces where we have to be around people again, I think we're going to be able to treat people kinder. We're going to value life more. I don't know. That's a really tough question. That's a really tough question. I don't think there's any way to prepare.
Yeah.
I don't.
I tried to
just embrace yourself.
Because I ain't have one. So I was like, maybe Pastor Zoe might.
I'm sorry. I felt like you guys, I was like rambling. I'm like, I don't even know. I was like, maybe God will give me some.
Honestly, guys, and I think this is how we're going to in this youth night out. Listen, if you have enjoyed tonight, if you've enjoyed Pastor Zoe, let us know in the chat real quick if you've enjoyed tonight and you've enjoyed Pastor Zoe from NY Youth ATL. I really think that there is just no way of knowing what life is going to be like.
It's 7 o'clock.
Thank you, computer. My computer reminds me about, they are all used to it. But I think that there's no way of really knowing what life is going to be like. And I think I honestly did not have an answer when I asked you that. And so I was like, maybe Pastor Zoe is going to have an answer. But I think that's where God wants us. I really do think that that's where God wants us, because I think that we have humans, we have gotten so enamored with our ability to trust ourselves more than we trust him.
Oh, that's so good.
Especially for the next step, for what's next.
Yeah.
This year proved to me that, this is going to sound harsher than I mean it, but that God don't give 2 cents about your plan. Because his is more important.
Yeah.
I planned out the entire 2020. I planned out my whole life. I planned out NY Youth. I planned out everything, and everything that I had in mind, my next steps, my next movements, the next things that I were going to do, everything that I had in mind, God said, just knock them right off the desk. And I think that this entire thing is God's way of getting us to trust him for our next steps, because we have become dependent on our self-help books, on our planners, on our, ability to dream and want something for ourselves. That became a crutch, and we started to trust that more than him. What do you think, Pastor Zoe?
I completely agree. And I was telling you before, I think this was God's way of causing us to slow down and reevaluate what's important. Like you said, we've been leading into everybody else and everything else, and we haven't taken the time to stop and really lean into what God is saying and what God wants for our lives. Like we planned out this whole 2020 year, and plans just got canceled left and right. And we're like, maybe God didn't even want us to do that in the first place.
Yeah.
And so going back to the basics, okay, God, now I'm going to ask you, I'm going to trust you this time. What do you want this next 6 months, this next year to look like? And really trusting that he's going to bring these blessings to fruition and bring things around.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I love it. Listen, tonight has been amazing. We are super, super, super honored to have had Pastor Zoe with us from NY Youth ATL. Listen, they're down there killing it. We love them so much. If you guys are not already doing so, go ahead and follow NY Youth ATL. They are family, and they're always posting some great stuff. And definitely go ahead and check them out when they have their services and all that great stuff. But we are super blessed tonight. We were super blessed tonight. Rajanique is on here. I hope I said that right. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
But we were super blessed tonight. Again, if you have not already followed them, NY Youth ATL. And remember, if you have not joined our text messaging, text NY Youth to 97000, NY Youth to 97000. If not, or if you have, we will see y'all next week. I love y'all so much. I miss y'all.
I love you guys.
Air hugs, all that great stuff. But yeah, love you guys so much. See ya.
Bye.